Julianne, it's so good to see you, and it's such an amazing film. And I think the fact it's based on a true story gives it that extra edge, doesn't it? Because you think of those two women the whole way through this. Why did you decide to do it? You must get so many movie scripts. Did you think, oh, another cop story, or...?
Well, actually, it's funny that you should say that, because when I first received the script, I was on a plane with my daughter going somewhere, and I was going through the scripts that I had, and I read the first few pages of it, and then I went, ugh. And my daughter said, "What, Mom?" I said, "It's a police procedural. Ugh, I don't want to do that." And for some reason, and then I had picked it up later and read it, and for some reason, a few days later, she asked me about it again, and she goes, "Whatever happened to that police procedural, Mom?" I said, "You know what? It turned out that it wasn't that. It was a love story about these two incredible women, and it's a true story." I said, "I'm going to do it." But it was interesting. It was a deliberately misleading at the beginning. So you thought you were going to be watching the story about a police officer, but really it was this tremendously beautiful, very personal love story. And that's why I did it. I was so moved by it.
It is so personal, and I loved at the end of the film. It's one of those don't leave before the credits, if you see it, where they show all the photographs of the real people, and brings it home again of how much it is a love story. And but it is a love story that became a political kind of football, really.
Of course, in the way that the personal, ultimately is political, and things that mean the most to us, that, who you love, how you live, how you share your life, those things are a political act. So in a sense, I mean, this movie is really about human rights.
And you've always been a massive supporter, especially of gay rights. I mean, like you said, when you first read it, it was just a police thing. And,
police movie.
And then you obviously got to that bit. Was that sort of the sway for you? Because it is on a personal level for you, isn't it?
Of course. I know, but I think also just as a human being, I like a love story just like everybody else does. And because it's something that I think we all build our lives around our relationships. And so it was important just for me as a human being. And then in terms of, yes, the progress that we have made and continue to make in the world with gay rights.
It does bring that home, actually. It did to me, that you think, that gay marriage was only, same-sex marriage was only legal last year, wasn't it, in the US?
Right.
And you think it wasn't that long ago, and it seems such a fundamental human right that the basis of this film is this woman is dying, and she wants to leave her police pension to the woman she loves, to her partner. And they had actually, why is that such a big deal?
And they had every expectation that because they had registered for domestic partnership that it should all be a fait accompli. But when she wrote the letter, they were turned down, which was... It's barbaric.
Ellen Page, who plays Stacey, I just think is terrific.
Yeah,
and I'm presuming you must have met Stacey and talked about how
she was incredibly helpful and so generous with everything, with all of the photographs and documents and stories. And as a matter of fact, in that scene, when Stacey gives me the ring, that was something that Ellen and I added, because Stacey and I talked about that. She gave her a turquoise ring because Laurel loved the ocean, and it looked like the ocean. So that line about it's like the beach, that was something that Stacey told us herself.
I was just reading, you describe it as first and foremost, it's a love story.
Yeah.
And, there's that whole debate, especially amongst, like, the LGBT community of why should it be gay marriage? It's marriage. Or,
it's marriage.
And that really stuck out for me that you said that, because obviously I know that you do a lot of work for rights. And I mean, was that a big deal for you to turn around and say, look, it's a love story, it doesn't matter who it's portraying?
It didn't feel like a big deal, because that was just something that felt very natural to me. And I think for Ellen and I, oh my goodness, that was the best part. Everybody remembers, like, meeting their partner. You remember your first dance.
Well, some people
your
don't.
First,
some
well,
people
yeah,
don't.
some people.
Not pointing any fingers.
No, really. Okay. But so doing all of that, and then buying your first house together, getting a dog, all of the things that we build our lives around. So that was, I mean, it was such a joy to do. And I remember the night that Ellen and I filmed the scene where we're dancing. We were both so happy because it was such a lovely scene to do.